Have you ever wondered how strong friendship really is? Not the kind of friendship that smiles in comfort, but the kind that faces fear, betrayal, and survival. True friendship is not measured in laughter at feasts, but in silence during danger. This story is about two friends, Arman and Saad, whose journey through a dangerous forest changed their lives forever. Arman and Saad were born in the same village, a small place surrounded by fields, rivers, and a distant forest that villagers feared. As boys, they were inseparable. They ran barefoot on muddy paths after the rain, shared roasted corn under the banyan tree, and whispered dreams under the stars. Arman was clever, ambitious, and often spoke of riches, cities, and fame. Saad, on the other hand, was simple, warm-hearted, and always valued loyalty over luxury. If Arman wanted to race to the river, Saad was already by his side. If Saad fell into trouble with other boys, Arman was quick to defend him. One evening as children, they made a promise. Sitting under the great banyan tree, they joined hands and swore, "Whatever happens in life, we will never leave each other behind." Friends forever, that promise carried them through youth. People in the village often said, "Where Arman goes, Saad follows. Where Saad stands, Arman protects." But life has a way of testing promises. Years passed. The boys became young men. Arman's hunger for success grew louder with time. He spoke of opportunities beyond the village, of towns where merchants thrived, where gold and silver flowed, and where men could rise from dust to power. Saad listened patiently. He was not greedy, but he did not want to lose his friend. So when Arman proposed traveling to the next town through the forest, Saad agreed. "Are you sure?" Saad asked. "The forest is dangerous. People say wild animals roam freely there." Arman laughed. "Danger is part of adventure. If we want to rise in life, we must take risks. Don't worry. We are two, and together no beast can harm us." Saad smiled faintly. He trusted his friend. And so at dawn, with little more than bread, water, and sticks for walking, they set off toward the unknown forest. The forest was not welcoming. Tall trees stood like silent guards, their shadows weaving patterns on the ground. Birds screeched from unseen branches. The air smelled of damp earth and old secrets. As they walked, Arman spoke endlessly of his dreams. "One day I will be rich. I will wear clothes of silk, own a house with marble floors, and people will bow to me." Saad listened, but thought differently. "Riches fade, Arman. A man is measured by his heart. Loyalty, kindness, faith, these last longer than gold." Arman smirked. "You sound like an old priest." "Gold buys food, power, and respect. Kindness does not fill empty stomachs." Saad did not argue further, but deep inside, he wondered if his friend valued him, only for the journey or for the bond they once promised. The forest grew darker as noon approached. They walked carefully, their sticks tapping the ground. A strange silence hung in the air. Even the birds had stopped singing. Suddenly a crack echoed. A heavy branch snapped somewhere ahead. The bushes trembled, and from the shadows emerged a massive bear. Its fur was dark and matted, its eyes small yet sharp, and its growl rumbled like thunder. The ground seemed to shake as it moved. Arman froze. His eyes widened with fear. In that instant, his instincts screamed not of loyalty, not of friendship, but of survival. Without a word, without a glance at Saad, Arman dropped his stick and scrambled up the nearest tree. His hands clawed the bark. His legs kicked wildly, and within moments, he perched on a high branch, trembling but safe. Saad was left standing alone, with the bear staring directly at him. Fear is a strange thing. It either paralyzes you or sharpens your mind. Saad's heart pounded like a drum. He remembered the advice of an old villager. "When you meet a bear, do not run. A bear can outrun you. Do not fight. Its strength is greater. The only way to survive is to fool it. Pretend you are dead. For a bear does not eat corpses." Taking a deep breath, Saad dropped to the ground. He lay flat, pressed his face into the soil, and closed his eyes. He slowed his breathing, pretending life had already left him. The bear lumbered closer. Its shadow fell across him. Its heavy paws pressed the earth. The smell of its fur was musky and wild. Saad felt the hot breath of the beast on his ear. The bear sniffed him, turned him gently with its snout, and growled low. Its wet nose touched his skin. Every nerve in Saad's body screamed to run, but he remained still, silent as stone. After what felt like endless minutes, the bear grunted as if disappointed, and slowly walked away, vanishing into the trees. From above, Arman had watched everything. Once the bear disappeared, he slid down from the tree, brushing dust off his clothes, and forced a nervous laugh. "See, I knew you'd be safe. My plan worked. From up there, I could watch the bear and warn you. Saad rose slowly, his heart still steadying. He looked at his friend with calm eyes. Armin, he said. The bear came very close. Do you know what it whispered in my ear? Armin smirked, curious. What? Tell me. Saad replied, his voice firm yet quiet. It told me never again to walk with a friend who leaves me in danger. Silence fell. The forest seemed to echo those words. Armin's face turned pale, his confidence cracking. For the first time he realized the weight of his betrayal. They continued their journey, but something had changed. The bond once strong was now fractured. Saad walked ahead, silent, thoughtful. Armin followed, guilt gnawing at him. But pride kept him from apologizing. By evening they reached the edge of the forest and saw the lights of the town ahead. To the world they arrived together, but inside they were miles apart. Life moved on. In the town, Armin chased wealth, and indeed he found it. He became a merchant dressed in fine clothes and filled his house with treasures. Yet he was often lonely. For though he had companions in trade, he never had true friends. Saad chose a simpler path. He worked honestly, lived humbly, and became known for his kindness. People trusted him, respected him, and sought his company. He never lacked friends because he gave loyalty and received it in return. Sometimes their paths crossed. Armin would see Saad surrounded by people who cared for him, and though Armin's pockets were heavy with gold, his heart felt strangely empty. Many years later, when Armin faced betrayal from his own business partners, he finally understood what Saad had once said. Wealth can buy servants, admirers, and temporary company, but not loyalty. When danger comes, only true friends stand by your side. But by then it was too late. The boy who once swore under the banyan tree to never abandon him had already learned to walk his own path. Friendship is not tested in laughter but in silence, not in comfort but in crisis, not when the sun is shining but when shadows fall. Armin and Saad's story reminds us all, choose your friends wisely, for in the moment of danger, their choice will decide your fate. And remember, a single act of betrayal can end what years of love once built.